Well. It's summertime, man, but they're getting close to spring football.
Spring football's coming.
Well, it's already gone, hasn't it? They already did spring football. But
yeah, well, everybody's firing up because of everybody's going new places now.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be fun.
I think what we need to look at these just to do a quick one here, and it's June, and they'll be reporting to start practicing for football come
start the end of August.
Yeah,
so it's coming.
I thought we'd hit this real quick, just do a quick on the resettling of who's and what, who's where, and all that kind of fun stuff. We'll just take a look at it, and so we can get ready for whenever this thing fires up.
Let's do it.
Come on in, we'll talk about it. And welcome back to the Midnight Riders Podcast. I am Johnny
Chuck,
and I've got my Oklahoma State Cowboy shirt on because this year we can probably win the conference because the OU and Texas are gone.
Because they're gone.
Yeah, but when OU and Texas leave, that just means you bring in more people that we can't beat. I don't know. I mean, I tell you what,
they'll be around. They should be in the top. They should be competing. That's for damn sure.
Well, let's look at the Pac-12. I mean, the Pac-12.
The Big 12. Both of them. Big 12.
We look at the Big 12. I mean, we lose OU and Texas, which is fine for me. You're bringing in Arizona. You're bringing in Utah. You're bringing in Arizona State. You're bringing in Colorado. I mean, none of the team. I mean, Arizona had a good season.
Arizona was pretty good.
But they played a Pac-12 schedule.
That schedule's weak. And we're going to get to see prime time all the time.
Oh, great. My thing is this. What's going to be the difference in the Big 12? I mean, OSU is going to be OSU. They're always the third, fourth best team in the league, always. Now, OU and Texas are always usually 1 and 2. Always, usually. That's not right. But anyway. So does OSU, does OSU the number one team? Kansas State coming in?
I say you're looking at Kansas. I say you're looking at Kansas State. You're looking at Arizona competing.
Yeah.
Utah's always pretty good, but then again, is it their conference? Is their what? They're usually a pretty good squad. West Virginia's up in the air.
Well, they're good.
OSU's got just shot as anybody.
Well, they're going to go with that rotating schedule. They're not going to have divisions, I don't think. I mean,
that's not heard.
None of them are. Big Ten's even going away from divisions, which shocks the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That they're finally moving into the 90s.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be the rotating schedule where you only play so many guys every year. It's going to depend on who you get to play and who you don't get to play.
All right.
If OSU doesn't have to play, I haven't looked at the schedules. I'm sure they're out. But, if they don't play Arizona or they don't play Utah or they don't play TCU or they don't play it's just going to depend on what schedule you get as to where you're going to be.
Sure, but they're bringing in teams that are going to be bottom feed. I mean, Houston's not going to be any good. Baylor's not going to be any good. Arizona State's not going to be any good. You're going to have those groups at the bottom. Colorado, I hope they're not any good.
I don't think
once he runs out his 65 and brings in 65 or whatever he's doing now.
I just can't. They just can't.
Cincinnati's not good. So you're still going to have those bottom 5, 6 that I think people are going to feast off of.
Sure.
But it's top heavy. It's going to be top heavy. And I think OSU's got a shot, just as good a shot as anybody now.
Well, you got.
They should be top.
You're up to 16 teams in this place now. I mean, and they're still going to be playing. From what I understand, they're going to be playing 3 or 4 non-cons.
3, I think.
And if you do that, you're still only going to be playing nine out of your division. You got 16, or you got 15 other teams to play. You're still not going to be playing 6 or 7 of the teams. I mean, it's still not going to be a real conference champion. But then again, that's why they're going to play the conference.
That's why That's why they're going. Everybody's going to go to that. But
so it's just.
I'd be real interested in the Big 12 this year. The other years, you knew OU, you knew Texas, and you knew there'd be 2, maybe 3 other teams that would compete, but you always pretty much knew where it was going to come down to.
Pretty much.
And
then
this year's going to be good.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, you get them out of the Pac-12 and over here. I mean, the Big 12, again, you take out OU and Texas. Big 12 is not going to be. It's going to be a little bit more competitive than the Pac-12 was as a conference, but not a whole lot more without OU and Texas in there. Houston's got a chance to be a little bit better. BYU's always kind of weird. They're either good or they're not.
Right.
They're never a mid-range team. They're either really good or not. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm all for OSU getting in there, walking it, and winning it, but I just don't know.
Yeah,
I just
no,
don't
I think you're probably just looking in right now. Nobody knows how the transfers and all that's going to pan out on these
Right.
teams, but just looking at it on the outside, looking in, you're looking at OSU, Kansas State, probably Iowa State, Arizona, maybe Utah. Just off the top of my head, your top 4 or 5 going into it, I would think. West Virginia, maybe.
Yeah,
But I would say OSU's at the top.
and that's what's fun
Should
about
be.
that's what's going to be fun about the new about the new setup,
Yeah.
about all the moving, to see how it's going to play out. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of I don't know in college football the past few years
Mm-hmm.
because it's been Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, maybe OU, maybe Tech. I mean, it's been the same 6-7 teams.
Right.
The debacle with Florida State this past year is going to cause some problems. But is this the year they're going to go to this year they go to the big 12-team playoff?
Right. They expand.
Okay, which is good. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you chat. You had all the conference movements, and then they're going to expand to the 12 teams. It's going to be a hell of a test.
Yep.
I mean, you're. And the interesting thing is, you're going to get a Big 12 champion who's going to get an automatic bid.
Yes.
Now,
and they should.
They should. And that's fine. And that's the way the system should work. A conference championship needs to be a reason
it needs to matter.
Get that bid.
I'm so tired of it not mattering, like in your Big Tens, where they just.
Where these kids aren't playing they're not playing in the conference championship game because they don't want to mess up their draft or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Now they're going to play. Now they need to play.
And they have to because they got a shot at the national championship.
Yeah. Now you've got to win a first round game and then maybe play a second round game and then maybe get to the championship game. So the thing is are you going to sit out for the draft even though your team your college that you're playing for is going to move on? I don't know.
Don't know how it plays out. Yeah, don't know how it is. Because a lot of these kids, like I said, they're only going to be at that college for 1 year, 2 years, because they've transferred 3 times.
That's
so
right.
I don't know. That's the part I don't like, but I'm hoping this will entice them then to stay and get that national championship. So hopefully they do. It'll make for a better product.
Yeah, I think maybe a better product. Make for a more intriguing matchup. It's going to be. I mean, seeing the new Big 12 is going to be fun. I mean, and then we moved to the Big 10. I mean, hell, the Big 10 got where the Big 12 got more competitive. The Big 10 got stronger.
Oh man!
I mean, they got stronger.
You're dragging Washington and Oregon into that group.
Yeah.
Man, USC, which I hope.
Well, I mean,
I hope you pull USC, and I hope they take an even bigger dump now because.
Yeah.
I mean, he struggled competing in the Pac-12. He's going to jump to the Big 10, and.
Well, again, it depends on what schedule he gets.
Right.
If he gets 5 of the weak sisters in there, I mean,
sure.
He's going to win 8 again, 8 or 10. You got 3 non-conference games, which are going to be walks, which is what they always schedule, which is fine. But then they're going to be playing 6 or 7 conference games, and so they're going to, if he pulls Maryland and Rutgers and Minnesota and Nebraska, I mean, if he pulls those, hell, they can still win 10 games.
They could, but they were supposed to do that this year too, and they didn't, and they tanked those. They're just not. I don't know. I don't see them really competing. I think you're still going to get your top 4 or 5.
Well, you still as far as USC
compete.
USC, you still got to have a defense, and he doesn't care about defense.
No,
never has.
I can't remember who they brought in, but yeah, it doesn't matter. He's still that's not a focal point of his.
It's not a priority.
You're still going to have. You're still going to have Michigan, Washington, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Iowa.
Yeah.
Good luck. Nebraska, I mean, everything I'm reading and seeing about Nebraska, they're getting better. They've got guys coming in. But
it's the same story with USC.
You don't know.
They always say Nebraska is going to be big because it's Nebraska, but Nebraska hasn't been big since Tom Osborne left. I mean, Pelini did a little bit with them for a little while, but then they've never been competitive. Since they moved to the Big Ten, they haven't been competitive.
Their middle group in the Big Ten is what intrigues me. The Northwestern, Wisconsin, UCLA, Maryland, all those teams, they always have a chance to threaten, or they're just nothing. I mean, they're just.
That's true.
So I'm not a Big Ten fan, never have been, but this year I'm kind of intrigued by just the realignment and then having an actual champion and how it's going to play out. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, the ACC added a couple of teams. We'll go through. They took
kind of.
Well, you bring in Stanford, who
Stanford, Cal, and SMU was good, but then again, how good is SMU?
Look what they played. I mean, they played that week. they played in the American Athletic, the
Yeah.
AAC. I mean, you had Tulane, you had UTSA, who are good mid-level teams. So you're
They're
going to
good
move
for
over
what
to you're going to move to ACC, and you're going to be playing. Again, I never thought the ACC was that good. I just didn't. I mean,
No.
they got the good. They got these good. Florida State was 13 wins. That's
Louisville.
had 10. North Carolina State had 9. But look who they played. They played mostly ACC teams who are just not that good.
Right. That's what I'm really curious on SMU this year because they were so good the past couple of years playing in that conference. I want to see what they do. Hopefully they draw the Florida States and they did a Georgia Tech, maybe a Clemson, and see.
Well, worst case they can
put them on it.
Maybe get to the title game and then play one of the big guys that they didn't play. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, I like the realignment. Finally, it's done. It's over. We can quit talking about it. We can quit saying, "Well, it's coming. It's coming. It's here."
Glad it's here.
Now let's play.
And the playoffs are expanding, and now you're going to get some a lot more meaningful football, which is what everybody wants.
Sure.
Hopefully, they stop scheduling directional schools and the William, Howard, and Mary, and those.
I don't think. I mean, they're going to still schedule those 3 week ones at the beginning of the season. They have to because they got to have those wins. The way the system is set up now, if you don't have the wins, you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
Well, let's move over to the SEC. You're bringing in
Here we go.
And
the most interesting one of it all.
You've already got Alabama. You got Georgia. You got OU and Texas now. And the thing about them is they're going to the full. They're going away from divisions as well.
Yeah.
They're going to the full boat to where it's a rotating schedule. I mean, this year OU has Alabama at home. I don't know. I didn't look at Texas's schedule.
I didn't see how it was set up yet. But I mean, if you draw your Missouri's, Ole Miss, LSU,
sure.
I mean, unless you end up, Florida was what 5 and 7 last year. But do you really? I mean, Florida's not going to be a cakewalk for anybody.
No.
I mean, that whole conference.
I mean, you still got Tennessee. I mean, what they're doing in Tennessee has impressed me over the past few years. And bringing in OU and Texas is not going to belittle them at all.
No.
Tennessee's competitive. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be one of the big guys now. Yep. So now you've got Alabama, you got Texas, Georgia, OU, you got Tennessee, you got LSU, who's always a problem. You got Ole Miss, who for some reason keeps winning. And you got Missouri, who had an unbelievable year this year. Can they continue? I don't know. But you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 teams right there that had 10 wins or 9 or 10 wins or 11 wins or 12 wins.
And like I said, and you got to think.
And then you've got the bottom half that's just putrid.
Yeah, but you got to think Florida and Auburn's not going to stay bad. They're going to get better. They always do. But Mississippi State, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, good Lord, Vanderbilt.
Well, South Carolina's not going to be good.
No, they lost Rattler. So
yeah,
I don't know
Auburn,
if they got
Kentucky
behind them.
Kentucky was iffy. Texas A&M, they're probably going to put them in the top 25 to start the season. And they're going to lose 4 straight, and then they'll be gone again.
They'll win the first 3. They'll be a number 9 or 10 ranked team. Then
they'll drop their first 3 conference games, and then they're gone. But I mean, the SEC. I don't like saying it, but they're going to be the best conference.
Oh, by far. I think by far.
They're already. ESPN already does everything they can to promote them.
And I'll be curious how many of the playoff, when they bump it to 12, how many SEC teams are going to go? How much are they going to drag in there?
Well, 4 of them get the automatic bid for the 4 power conferences. So there's 4, and then don't they just go by the rankings or by the so-called power rankings or whatever?
I think so. I mean, I think that's how it's going to go down,
But as it is, they're always going to be ranked.
They're going to push it.
Sure. The interesting thing about what's going to happen, and I think this is going to help that situation out, where at the end of the year, you've always got 2 SEC teams in the top 10 that will not play in a title game.
Sure.
So they always get that extra bump when your title game teams lose. What's going to help in that aspect, I think, is that with the SEC becoming a non-divisional conference, they're not going to get those weak teams every year. It's going to constantly rotate.
Right.
So I don't know if there's going to be as many 9, 10, 11 win teams in the SEC every year with the rotating schedule now. Because every year, Georgia played Mississippi State, Arkansas. But every year they played these guys. So I don't know. It's going to put a different nuance on college football, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm really looking forward to the bitching and moaning coming into the year when they've got a 3-loss SEC team or a 1-loss Big 12 team who you putting in? Who gets that? Who all of a sudden went from number 14 to number 11 in the last ranking of the season?
Exactly.
Because Missouri finished 9-3.
Well, because because LSU will get more people to watch them than Utah.
Right.
There's your
There's always going to happen.
Who's going to watch?
You're always going to have.
It's all going to be about watching TV.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great.
It's going to be fun to watch for a lot of different reasons.
So looking forward to this one. It's going to be
wanted to ask you before the season started. I wanted to get you in here and ask you about the Pac-12. They're still calling it the Pac-12 because they're still hoping to bring some teams in maybe next year. But I mean, Oregon State and Washington State they're going to be playing a Mountain West.
You play the Mountain West teams.
A few of those,
3 or 4.
and then about 5 or 6 non-cons. But
who are they going to bring? I mean, what are you going to?
Well, I think what they're going to have to do is just bring the entire Mountain West.
I mean, you're going to bring. I was going to say you're going to have to bring over your Colorado State. You're going to have to bring over that whole group over there. On that
well, they're the only teams, and the only other thing they could do
your Boise State
is they would have to. I mean, I know it's a money grab. I mean, it's the only reason they're still considering it a Pac-12 conference. There's a lot of money sitting in a coffer somewhere.
Sure it is.
And since these other guys left, that money belongs to Oregon State and Washington State. It's their money. So I can understand why they're there. But the Mountain West has got, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They got 12 teams just sitting there to do something. But the Mountain West said, hey, why don't you guys come join us?
As I say, the Mountain West isn't bailing out. Mountain West is saying, we're fine.
Yeah,
we got 12 decent ones. Come on.
And the name of the conference, I mean, they Oregon State and Washington, they truly think that if you guys come over here, we're going to get an automatic bid because we're the Pac-12. Well, no.
I don't think so.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so anymore.
I truly don't think they will. So
I don't know what they're going to do.
It's just these guys holding Oregon State, Washington State holding out like that.
Right. I think they're holding on to that money, hoping.
Unless they think they can actually get squeezed into the SEC, I mean the ACC or something like that. But
ACC or even Big 12. I don't know. Big 12's already at their 16. So I don't know.
I think Notre Dame's going to have to. They're going to have to go a conference.
They better. Who was it? Them and UConn?
UConn, and UMass. I mean, Army hooked up with somebody. So
Army. Yeah.
They went over to the American Athletic over here with Tulane.
You've got to force Notre Dame at some point in time in football to get off this independent stuff. They have to.
Well, I'm hoping. I don't know if I think this. I'm hoping that the new conference championship setup. I am hoping that Notre Dame will not be able to get in because they're not in a conference. I know they're going to do everything they can to get them in because people are going to watch them and people to sponsor.
Because it's Notre Dame.
But they're not going to get an automatic bid, be in the top four. They're not.
Yeah.
But
I think they're going to have to finish with only 1 or 2 losses, I think.
Well, but here's the deal. The automatic bids are the top 4 in the conference, and they get a bye.
Right.
Notre Dame will never get a bye. If you're ranked number 1 in the nation, but you didn't win a conference title, you're not getting a bye.
You shouldn't.
And they're not going to because it's written up where the top 4 byes are the conference championship winners of the Big 4. Notre Dame will never get a bye if they don't join a conference. I don't give a shit where they're ranked.
And where do they join? Because in basketball, everywhere else they're part of the ACC.
And ACC still has an odd number of teams in football.
Yeah.
They're keeping that odd number on purpose.
Yeah, sure they are.
Because they want Notre Dame to jump.
Yeah.
And when Notre Dame, whenever the first 2 years of this, when they sit there, and let's say assume they're ranked in the top 4, and they're going to bitch and whine because they don't get that first week bye. Well, join a conference.
Get in the conference.
Because that's the way this thing is set up.
I don't know. Of course, none of us know what the behind-the-scenes conversations are, and the money that's involved in the Notre Dame contracts and and the NBC contract and all that other stuff. I don't know. But you just got to think the school itself has got to see it and got to make a move on the money they're going to be losing out on. I would think.
Sure. Of course they are.
Because they finished 10-3 last year and finished number 16.
Yeah.
They don't even make the playoff. So what do you do?
No. And they get some weak ass bowl game, which nobody cares about bowl games.
Well, nobody cares about it. Nobody plays it.
Nobody plays in them. The bowl games are going to die.
Sure.
I mean, I don't understand why nobody goes to them. They don't get a gate. No. The sponsorship is getting weaker and weaker and weaker.
And the players don't go.
The players won't play, so why even have them anymore?
You only got underclassmen or those because even if you're a senior, You got the Senior Bowl and everything. If you don't know what your draft status is going to be anyway,
Right.
So the 90% of them don't play in it anyway.
Well, since you putting in the playoff, I mean, by putting in the playoff, there's automatically 6 bowl games you can't have anymore because there's 12 teams right there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 6 bowl games that are taken.
Right.
And those are really the only games people are going to give a shit about now.
Sure.
So
well, there's going to be more than that because then when you get to that, you get to the semifinals and there's 4 more that are.
Sure. So 6 and then 4. There's 10 and then 2 more. I mean, there's a lot of bowl games are going to be taken up by the championship. So who's and like you say, these kids that go to the
who's going to watch Tulane play Air Force?
Exactly. I mean, so Tulane and Air Force get to travel and they get to go to a bowl game. In today's sports world, they travel all the time anyway.
Right.
So let's stop that.
Let's watch Liberty play Hawaii and in Arizona. Nobody.
Sure.
The teams will travel their people, and that's all it's going to be. So.
But anyway, like I said, we just wanted to get on here and pop out a quick one about the realignment. Get it out there before we start talking about preseason. Well, preseason, I don't know what the hell they call it anymore. They're getting ready to report and start doing some work. And
first game, end of August?
End of August.
Starts August 30th, August 31st, something like that. So, yeah, it's coming up quick, starting earlier and earlier. So, kind of your dead time right now in sports other than baseball and NBA finishing up. So, be good to start generating something else here.
Let's see. It's on college football schedule August 24th. Delaware State, Hawaii, Florida State, Georgia Tech. So
August 24th?
What they're showing here.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, you're talking 2 months away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're firing it up. So, yeah, we'll be doing more of these leading up to it.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit at a time, try to get fired up and get ready for this. But the realignment's the first thing we needed to approach, and here we are. And we're going to see what's going to go shaking here and move on from there.
It'll work. Get your alerts set up because we're going to be talking and talking. So,
yes, we are.
You want us to hit on something, let us know.
Subscribe, comment, let us know what you want us to talk about. We will jump on it. If you've got anything going on out there that you think we need to visit or get on there about, let us know because we'll certainly get on there and talk about it.
Ideas, suggestions, like us, don't like us, throw it out there. Let us hear it.
That would be fantastic. But anyway, we appreciate you stopping in. Hang tight for more, and we will keep you updated throughout the season. Let's talk some football here, and we'll move on. Got anything else?
That is it for right now. Looking forward to getting this going.
See you soon.
All right.